Hey everybody, good morning. Happy 4th of July. I'm going to get quick and get to the point. Normally, I post nothing of substance or relativity or anything, but um, today, being the 4th of July and with everything that's going on, I thought that I'd just post a little video with some of my thoughts and takes on the current situation of things that are going on because I really think the best thing we can do at this point is open, honest, rational discussion between people. Um, it's a crazy fucking time. Oh, disclaimer: this will definitely have adult language in it. So if that offends you, probably some awesome sarcasm and blue humor. So if that offends you, so uh, where was I? This might ramble for a little bit and be all over the place. And while I'm thinking about it, there's been people who've been requesting to see this guy. There he is. Say hello, Lucy, aka Lucifer. Your claws are digging into me right now. Your gun is digging into my hip. So, say bye. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to touch on, though, all this flag controversy. Personally, to me, the rebel flag, I've never looked at it and put it with racism. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't equal racism. But what it does make me think of is Southern rednecketry. And yes, that's my word, rednecketry. And like cousin loving and kids born with webbed hands. That's what the rebel flag makes me think of when I see it. And I can't believe in this day and age that anyone would want to fly it. And before the people get you don't know the history behind that flag. Yeah, I do. It's still ridiculous, though. The kind of people who hold on to the history of the rebel flag are the same people who throw a fucking fit when people come into this country and don't want to assimilate with American culture. People still revering the Confederate flag are not assimilating with American culture. That's done, and there's no need to be proud of it. It's a ridiculous symbol. The only place it looks good on is the General Lee. That's it. I haven't watched Dukes of Hazzard in so long, but it's nothing to get bent about. Changing that flag is not a big deal. It's not like the United States is going to topple. It's probably realistically something that should have been done a long time ago. And I think probably if I were a different race, oh my God, you're white, you can't even imagine what it'd be like. But I would probably be offended by the rebel flag if I was another race. So that's for you, Kim, if you're watching this. But yeah, and I know it's a hotbed issue. I don't agree with the statues that are being destroyed. A lot of them, I question why they're up in the first place. But of course, none of that should be done at all. But those aren't really the protesters doing that. That's the Marxist part of the movement, which we'll get into later. But the second thing that I wanted to touch on, the media and everything we read is saying, racism is at an all-time high. It's worse for every minority than it's ever been. Ever. It's worse for homosexuals. It's worse for Mexicans, black, every single race. It's just these are the darkest times in America. Apparently, if you're not a white male. So my question is, I wasn't alive in the '60s, but I do remember there was a thing called segregation. Where if white people said you couldn't go somewhere, you couldn't go there. Or you couldn't use a water fountain. And if you tried to protest or anything, you got water hoses turned on you. Now, I'm not saying that things aren't perfect. I'm not saying that things are perfect now. because they're not at all. But I don't understand why so many people fall for the media trap that things are so bad, because they're not. Where I live in the middle of Nebraska, and I bet if if you pulled the East Coast and West Coast, they're going to think that Nebraskans, a lot of them are going to think we're backwards hicks, and probably racist and stuff like that. I live in a small area. There's a lot of black people. There's a lot of Mexican people. And for the size, there's a pretty big homosexual population too. Now, granted, I've only lived here for like 14, 15 years now. But in that time, I've never heard of one racial incident. I've not heard of a hate crime. I've not heard of harassment. I mean, besides, every once in a while there's going to be some stupid fuck who's going to say something stupid, and pop off. But I mean, we're all tooling. Everybody gets along. I go into my favorite Mexican restaurants, and everything, and there's no tension or anything. And there's cops sitting there. There's black people sitting there. Everybody's sitting there just, having some of the best Mexican food you can get. I have several friends on Facebook who live in, other places, larger cities and everything, and they say the same thing. They say there is no racial discord where they're at. And what this is media manufactured. But people do not realize that. And people are too stupid to look outside of the TV box. And it's just really odd. Oh, going back to it, my whole point is, if everybody in central Nebraska can get along, everybody can do it. Because, there are a lot of rednecks in Nebraska. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I know and love many rednecks. Being a redneck does not mean you're racist or anything. It just means... Kim, good old boy. But now I'm rambling. Celebrities. Everybody gets pissed off about celebrities and what they have to say about all this bullshit. If it bothers you, celebrities have literally no power now. All they're doing is look at me ploys. Because there no movies are being made. There's no new TV shows or anything. So they got it from their mansions. I claim responsibility. This is all my fault. Even though I'm an actor, I vow not to act anymore unless it's along my racial lines. That's funny too, the whole voicing thing. And everybody's like, well, if the character's black, it's got to be voiced by a black person. Okay, which is a good idea. I mean, when it comes to animation and stuff, well, even I say you give the best person the job. White, black, man, woman, whatever. Give the best person for the job. But if you really want to be that equal, how equal do we go? Why does it end there? Let's say the character's a veteran. Shouldn't they be voiced by a veteran? If the character's a child, shouldn't they be voiced by a child? If the character is an alien abductee, they should be voiced by a fucking alien abductee, right? Equal. And that's the other thing. All of this smokescreen, it's not for total equality. It's only about equality for certain things in certain places. But I wish all these politicians and musicians and everything put your money where your mouth is. Open up your mansion gates. All these people that you say, they don't have enough money, let them in. Make a tent city in your yard. Why don't you do that? Oh, because you don't want that type of thing in your Beverly Hills neighborhood. You want everybody else to shell out for them, and you want everybody else to accommodate them while you sit there and say, this is better than an Academy Award. I'd like to thank you all. It's so fucking stupid. But people get so mad at what celebrities have to say. Here's the thing. If you turn them off, if you stop watching them on Twitter, if you stop commenting on Facebook, they hold no power. They'll go away. You fuel the fire. And that's what the conservative spaces in Facebook do not understand. Facebook is not free speech. When you sign up for Facebook, you sign a thing where it says that you abide by their rules. It's not free speech. But the conservative sites are, it's all like pissing in the wind. They'll take these celebrity comments, and then it's just 2,000 comments after it. Not watching their movies anymore. Oh, that'll show them. That's going to solve everything. I've never seen conservatives so impotent over with everything that's going on. I've never seen. I can't even believe how inactive the conservative base is. And yeah, there are exceptions, but overall, and the attacks on Christianity, man, that's been brewing. It's been cool to attack Christianity for about the last 30 years. And I don't give a fuck what you think about religion. I am not a religious person, but I respect religion. If people want to have that belief, and it's not just Christianity, whatever your religion is, if you have that belief and it's important to you, awesome. Cool. If it helps you, great. That's fucking fantastic. I would never deride someone for, I might have some spirited debate or whatever. But the way that they attack Christianity, on TV you can say Jesus Christ, God damn it, you can make any joke about Christianity you want to. And then you try that shit against any other religion, the show's going to get banned. It's going to get canceled because, oh, hey, Christians, they're white people. They're the fucking devil anyway. And so many people are blind to this, either blind to it or just ignore it, and they accept it, and they think that it's okay. And here's the thing. If white people do get taken out, if all this stuff does go through, it's only a matter of time before they target somebody else. You think all this is going to lead to a beautiful utopia? It's not, and it will only get worse. One final thing, I see we're already at the 12-minute mark, and I probably haven't made any sense at all. I should have prepared a script. People and I were discussing an interesting point that I've brought up many, many times before, and I really haven't heard anybody else touch on it, but I'm sure they have. It's by no means an original idea. But this talk of reparations and everything, and if you don't know, reparations, African Americans want to be paid basically back money for the slave labor of their ancestors. Number one, basically every single culture has been subjugated to slavery at one point or another. Every single one of us have relatives that were slaves at one point or another. Once again, not condoning it. I'm just stating it's a fact. But the funny thing about the demanding for reparations, when you look at the races who have been fucked over by America in America. First, you got the Native Americans, the Indians. Look at where they are. That is a sad state of affairs. I mean, they've been pretty much reduced to nothing. And they grow up on their reservations, and there's so much alcohol and drug abuse and everything, and it's sad. I grew up in a Native family. Every year, my aunt would do these authentic powwows out with real Native Americans. They come and do the dancing and everything. It is cool as hell. I always loved going when I was a kid, except when it was hot as shit. But it was always cool, and it was the maybe that was one of the things back in the day that taught me to respect other cultures and. But I always thought it was really interesting. But I mean, now, but nobody ever, it's Black Lives Matter. We need reparations. We need respect for black people. How come there's never been an outcry for the Native Americans? Do you know why it is? They have no political power. They don't have a voting base, so they don't matter. Black people, the liberals, need those votes. That's why they matter to liberals. The same party that started the Ku Klux Klan, as we all know, but that's why liberals are always on board with all of this, because they need those votes. That is fact. Along with that, who built our railroads? The Chinese. How many Chinese slaves were there? I'm not sure, because actually that's, I should have looked that up, but they were slaves, and they were treated horribly. A horrible thing. And after that was said and done, what was their response? Well, we're going to put our heads down and make the best of it and thrive. And that's what happened. And I just think it's interesting that only with everything that has happened, if you want to say there needs to be atonement for the past, why is it only one past matters? It's just an interesting, among all this other shit, and I'm already over the 15-minute mark. I know people aren't. I'm sorry, and if I made any sense, share this video on your other conservative sites or whatever, or liberal sites or whatever. I'm not soft-skinned. I'll take it all. That's what she said. So anyway, have a great day. Have a great 4th. Be safe. Don't put in any upside down artillery shells. Leave that to me. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day. Bye.